Welcome to Derry. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the movie gangster, and today I want to discuss you about it. Yes, I'm going to talk about Pennywise and what is it in fact. It. Yes. It. I'm gonna talk about that evil spirit which has been terrified the area for a million years and now is rising the bold darkness through Derry and citizens once again. It. It. Yes, I'm going to talk about it. I'm gonna talk about Pennywise. It. The story takes us back to 1969 to the eerie town of Derry. A military pilot moves to Derry with his family to work on a secret project. But as soon as they arrive, they are confronting with strange events, unsettling encounters, weird people, weird actions, and from the very beginning point of the story, we see that Derry is not like the other towns, but it's very special. It's a place where children disappear mysteriously, and people and residents seems to be off. So now, after watching 6 episodes, as a huge fan of Stephen King and his entire universe, I have something to say. The opening sequence sets the tone perfectly. Follow a young boy, Matty, who runs out of the theater and ends up catching a ride with the Beezer family, and after a chain of chaotic events, the car crashes and we only see Matty's pacifier pushes down through the canal. This disturbing moment becomes the starting point for all mysteries and conflicts and events in the show. Let's talk about the real questions. What is exactly it? I'm going to break everything down from the very beginning point to the end to show you what is this evil spirit which I call a trickster spirit. We're also going to take a deeper look into Derry's origin, including stories told by Native Americans who were the first inhabitants of the area. But first, please hit the like button and give this video a thumbs up. Share it to your friends and communities. Subscribe to the channel to support my work. And of course, make sure to turn the notification bell on so you won't miss any of my reviews and breakdowns as soon as they're uploaded. Let's go and get into it. As I always say, you can usually find everything you need to know right in the pilot episode. The main theme, the core concepts, and the elements that will shape the entire journey all are introduced from the very beginning. Welcome to Derry is no exception. In the pilot, several major ideas are presented through character interactions and key events. From the very beginning episode, you can feel a duality in theme. Let's check the themes. The first theme is mind manipulation, which the show establishes immediately. Matty is watching a film in which a speaker manipulates parents into turning against their own children, planting fear, paranoia, and distrust in the audience. During this scene, we see Matty sucking on a yellow pacifier. It's strange at first, but symbolically rich. The pacifier represents his search for safety and emotional comfort, taking him back to the only time he felt truly secure, infancy. The color yellow often symbolizes intimacy, trust, and peace. So Matty, clinging to this yellow pacifier, suggests he is desperately trying to regain a sense of safety amid the fear spreading around him. And this all goes back to his childhood wounds. We see how much he's disgusted about his father, and he always had this deep wound he tried to running from by spending his time in theater watching movies. You all know about father wound matter also in the books and movies. It seems Matty was a perfect bait for this evil spirit. He was wounded, scared and all alone, to feed this evil spirit lurking back between the townspeople. They may think that they had it under control through those pillars and the ancient rituals and trapped it into the jungle. But this entity uses tricks to come back around. It spies and is waiting for a moment to catch as a bait. Matty is the best one not only to feed it, but to feed people's mind with fear by using tricks. Also, it's no coincidence that during the bizarre car incident, the pacifier ends up in canal and eventually in the sewers, the home of Pennywise. I need to remind that this evil spirit always needs something like an object which is connected to your fears or your deepest wound, which directly contacts to that father wound. Now this evil spirit has Matty's pacifier, and this is the only reason children could visit Pennywise, as Matty physically appeared on them. The second major theme is silent racism, not only tied to skin color but also culture and nationality. We see Ronnie's father arrested after the massacre at theater. Major Hanlon experiences prodigies at the military base, and Charlotte witnessing everyday discrimination during a simple walk through the town. The show also highlights tension between Native American community and the military researchers working in Derry. The racism operates quietly but powerfully, fueled by fear, scarcity, and distrust. It keeps the town people divided, suspicious, and emotionally manipulated, as if some envious corrupting force is working behind the scenes. The children become the central victims of this corruption. They're terrified and controlled by the fears their parents project onto them. And all of this ultimately ties back to it, the entity we know as Pennywise. They call it it because it's something nameless, something unspeakable. Maybe it's forbidden to talk about. Maybe people fear being mocked or being hospitalized. Or maybe the truth is so dark that no one dares to name it. It represents the fears we cannot articulate, the horrors we've only heard whispers of, and the nightmares adults try to bury but inevitably pass on to their children. They condemned Hank, Ronnie's father, just only because his race and his skin color. We saw he couldn't prove that he wasn't at theater the night that bloody massacre happened to those children. Later, he confessed to Charlotte about a woman he was slept with, who he was scared to talk about, because she was a married woman and her husband was a racist himself and a head member of the town. And that woman was no one but Mrs. Kirsch, the nurse from Juniper Hill, who Lily trusted. She later helped Charlotte to save Hank and hides him in the barn with other colored folks. And guess what? She did that only to let her people assassinate all of them at the same time to wage a bigger war. And this is all works through her manipulating other people. Fear is a driving force here. It grows from weaknesses, spreads through old legends, and becomes inherited trauma passed down from elders to children. But what does all of this have to do with Mrs. Kirsch? Let's dig a little further. As the series progresses, we begin to understand Welcome to Derry is built around a complex lore, a mythology that everyone in town talks about, yet no one fully understands. What becomes clear is that Derry residents fall into two groups: the newcomers who arrived in later generations and don't believe in the old stories, and the Native American community who have been there for ages and hold on to ancient beliefs about an evil presence in the land. Strange events are constant in Derry. Children go missing under mysterious circumstances. Tension rises between white citizens and people of color, and fear seems to dictate every relationship. In episode 2, General Shaw gives Major Hanlon the first official explanation. The military believes the Russians buried secret objects in the area, objects capable of producing extreme fear and hallucinations, supposedly as a part of a Cold War missile strategy. Shaw recruits Hanlon to locate those weapons before they can be activated. This becomes the first rational explanation for the chaos in Derry. But it's clear there's much more beneath the surface. Meanwhile, children, including Lily and her friends, become increasingly affected by terrifying visions. No one believes in them, but they slowly piece together the truth. A clown is involved. Of course, longtime Stephen King fans already recognize the figure they are hinting at. A second deeper narration comes from the Native American characters. In episode 4, we hear their version of the lore through the young Indian boy as he speaks to his Aunt Rose, while Halloran uses his psychic abilities to discover him. According to this story, an ancient entity called BELLOW crashed into the land million years ago inside a star-shaped stone. It fed on fear, tore apart people into pieces, and appeared differently to each person depending on their deepest terror. At times, it appeared as a polar deer, a creature the tribe feared. To Saskia, the tribe's chief mother, it appeared as a Christian priest, reflecting the tribe's trauma from the violent arrival of Christians who slaughtered them to steal their land. This ties together perfectly with the memory we see in episode 3, where young General Shaw, Francis, encounters an old terrifying circus performer, a vision that later follows him into the woods. Again, the entity feeds on individualized fear. This is part 1. Watch the rest of review in the next video. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the movie gangster. Thank you for watching the review. Please like the video and share it through your friends and communities. It would be so nice to write me your own opinion and idea as a comment below. Subscribe to my channel to support me, and don't forget to turn the notification bell on to be informed of all of my videos, reviews and breakdowns as I uploaded them. For now, love and light in peace.